us. And so at that time, I had a salon called Celebrity Status Hair Studio. I was in a relationship with a guy, very nice guy, not a bad guy at all, but he wasn't my husband. And God began to tell me to cut some things. He said, that salon that you got, you did that. I didn't do it. Because I offer you blessings with no sorrow. At that time, I was dry. When I say I had made such a monster of a lifestyle, because like I said before, I didn't grow up with anything. So everything that I found that I could buy, I bought it. So I had single woman, 3 vehicles, just spending out of control, just spending all my money, just buying stuff because I could buy it, but didn't have no money in the bank. Carrying a Louis Vuitton, but no money in the bank. Driving a Mercedes CLS 550 4-door coupe, no money in the bank. Because you know, we can put on for our city, we can put on for people all day. But then when you go home, you facing debt, you facing bills, you facing all this ugly stuff when you go home. But out in the opening, you want people to think you got it all together. Well, that was me. I wanted people to think I had it all together. So I had the salon, I had the man, I had the cars, I had the clothes, I had the handbags, I had all of that, but my life was a mess. It was a mess. And I used things to cover it up. And so God began to give me instructions. He said, the salon you're in, close it down. I didn't do it. You working 18 hours a day to try to keep up with this lifestyle that you created. Because I didn't create it. And so he said, cut it, close it down. I closed it. And people began to talk about me. She broke. She lost her salon. The people walked out on it. Because how many of you know when you start to do things God's way, it's going to look real contrary. It's going to look real bad to people. And they're going to begin to talk about you. But you got to remember what God spoke to you the first time. And you can't look at what people are going to say because they're going to talk regardless. And so at that particular time, I was over people. I was over people because people had failed me so much. People had failed me so much. My father failed me, and then after that, my friends failed me, and then after that, my relationships failed me. People was failing me. So at that particular time, I was like, I'm over people. And so he said, the relationship that you're in, that's not your husband. Cut it. And he said, you will not be in this city this time next year. I need for you to get rid of all the things that you idolize, those cars. And I was like, ooh. I like this car. That's my dream car. He said, I need you to get rid of it. And I didn't obey. So I had that CLS 550 4-door coupe all of about 2 months. And I was driving down a dark road and it started to storm. And I seen other cars like come into this dip. And all the other cars would go up to the dip and then they would turn around and go back the other way. And I was like, well, I travel this road every day. Like, I know this road, so I'm just going to go through it. Well, I went through it, and needless to say, the water was up to my windows in that dip. And as soon as I hit the dip, it stopped my car, and water was up to my windows in a brand new CLS 550. I was like, and then the car just said, shoo. And then I looked at the dash, and I had 20,000 miles on the dash, and I'm like, oh my God. God said, are you going to obey me, or do I need to strip you? Because you can do it my way, and obedience is so much better than sacrifice. If you do it my way, I won't have to strip you, but I need for you to do it my way and open and just give it up on your own. But if not, either way it go, you got to get rid of the stuff. One way or another. And so the car was the first to go. So I said, okay, God, okay. And so I began to sell. I began to sell the bags. I began to just sell things. And because he said, for where I'm taking you, I need for the people to see you. I need the people to see who you are and not what you're wearing, not what you're driving. I need for them to see exactly who you are. And so I sold all that stuff, and I began to ask God, okay, God, where do I go? Where do I go? And I had 2 places in mind, Orlando or LA. I visited Orlando. Long story short, I never went to LA. Why Orlando? I don't know. I just thought it was cute. Palm trees, You know, sunshine, beaches. It was just cute. So I came here, I researched the area, and packed up my things, me and my baby, and we came. And hard times hit real quick. They hit, and I began to try to make plans. I said, okay, I'm gonna move in a shaker. I can survive wherever I wanna, wherever I am. I can survive. I can do hair. So I started going to people. I said, hey, I'm a new stylist in the area. I'm really good. I can do your hair. Oh, I got a stylist. They walk off. And I go over here. I say, hi, I'm Kendall. I'm a new stylist in the area. I specialize in cut and color. I can style your hair for free. No, I got a stylist. And I just went all over the malls and I started passing out cards. But Orlando is a tourist city. So everybody that I would give a card to, they we don't live here. And I began to be like, okay, okay. What do I do? No money. All my money was gone. I came to Orlando with $10,000. It was gone in 2 months because I moved into natural, but mentally I was still living a lavish lifestyle. So I had an expensive apartment thinking that when I get here, bam, they was gonna know about me and I was gonna be doing all this hair and making all this money. Well, that didn't happen. Because God said, I'm doing this, not you. I need for you to step out of the way and let me do it. And I still didn't listen to God right off, and I still was trying to do it my way. Still trying to move and shake things with my hands and use my hands to make it happen. And he said, go on, do you. And in 2 months, they put an eviction notice on my door. And at that time, I was out in Texas because I was traveling back and forth. And my daughter called me. And she said, Mama, this is how my daughter talked, Mama, they put an eviction notice on our door. They said we got to get out in 3 days or they're going to padlock it. And I paused for a moment, and I said, that's okay, baby, I got it. And I asked God, I said, okay, God, I take my hands off. You give me a plan. You give me strategic instructions on what I need to do so you can do this. And God gave me a plan out of this world that I was like, there's no way I can do this. But he said, if you let me do it, I can do it in an instant. I can turn it around in an instant. And I kid you not, when I began to allow God to really lead and guide me, it was almost like, to give you a visual, I had blindfolders over my eyes and I didn't even know what I was going to step out into next. I didn't know where my next step was because I was that blindfolded. I had no idea. I had no family, no friends in Orlando, nothing. And everybody that had the potential to help me, they did not. God hardened their hearts because he said, for where I'm taking you, only I can get the glory. Nobody else can get it. And I'm telling you, I'm sitting in these salons and I'm watching people mess up some heads. And I'm like, Lord, help me. Help me, Lord. I mean, mess them up and was charging them $150, $200. And I'm like, y'all gonna pay for that? And sometimes I would literally sit there and break down and cry, just sitting in the salons breaking down and crying because I'm like, God, you gotta help me. I ain't used to this, but God was breaking me. He was breaking all of my will so that I could let his will operate in my life. And I would sometimes just sit there and cry because I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. Some days I didn't even have money to put gas in my car so that I could get to the salon, but he was breaking me. And I had to go through that. For this moment right here, I had to go through all of that, all of the hardship, all of the pain, all of the crying. And in that downtime, I had so much downtime, I began to write. And I had debt and I had bills. I had to, send the car that I drove here. I had to send it back because I could no longer afford it. And God said, begin to write. And I began to study things like the I am factor. I began to study things like how the brain works, how the mind works, how your thinking, your thought process work. I began to study those things because I had to figure out, how does this faith thing really work? Because we go to church and we hear about it. But I would leave the same, getting the same results. Insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over and you're getting the same results. So I had to try to do something a little different. And I began to study how your thought process works, the words that come out of your mouth. How does it really affect your life? And God said, you're going to speak your way up out of this dump. And I began to learn the power of my words. I began to learn the power in knowing how valuable you are. And I began to stand in the mirror and talk to myself and say, I am beautiful. I am more than a conqueror. I am financially free. I am loved. I am successful. I began to talk to myself. And right away, I didn't see anything changing. And I began to continue to read and study. Because how many of you know you can get in the mirror and say affirmations? But at the end of the day, if your belief level don't match what you're saying out of your mouth, nothing is going to happen. So you have to really believe the things that you allow to come out of your mouth, and then it'll begin to manifest. And so I began to write, and I began to write my story because I had a lot of pain. I had a lot of hurt. I had a lot of disappointments. And I was operating out of all of it, and my life was a mess. And through me being on my knees and allowing God to really operate in my life, I began to speak my way out of debt. I began to speak my way out of poverty. I began to speak my way out of all of those horrible relationships. And I began to speak manifestation in my life, and my dreams began to come true. And then a book was birthed. I Am Not My Circumstance. And I released my first book October 2015. And in 24 hours, it was #1 on Amazon in dysfunctional families. It was #1 on Amazon. And what made it #1 was all of everybody that did not like me back home. Everybody that I had altercations with, because they wanted to know. How many of you know God said, I'll make your enemies your footstool? He said, I'll prepare a table in the presence of your enemies. And so that's what my enemies made my book #1. So thank you, Jesus. And one by one, that scripture began to really operate in my life. And people, all the people that had the opportunity to help me when I moved to Orlando, guess what? They all came back around. And God said, it's not for you to treat them bad, because I did that. He said, I intervened. They couldn't help you. And he said, you treat them nice. And do whatever you can do to help them. Because that was all me.